Welcome to Pattern Machine Shed. I'm Kenny and this is a line trimmer, and today I'm making my wife a hair dryer. Let's get into it. So first up, I'll pull the cover off this, the bar, everything, and I'll show you how I think this might work. I love these things for cheap little power plants because they people seem to throw them out pretty easily, and usually all it is like a blown out fuel line or something like that, or the bulb's gone, but real easy to get cheap parts for them. Alright, so here's my thinking. The hairdryer needs two things. It needs wind and heat. So we've got a built-in fan here already, and if by chance we come to see that that's not enough fan speed, just whack another blade on there, should be right. And now with this cover here, it redirects all the air up through here, past the fins, and it gets heated up. And what I'll also do is create a muffler that has fins in it as well, so it can grab heat from the cylinder fins and the exhaust and then blow it out into my wife's hair to dry it. Alright, and of course, yeah, a fuel tank in that has to be relocated, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. I'll figure that out. Right, so I've removed the fuel tank. Just try and strip it down as much as possible. A lot of this can be taken out because I'm not going to use that air box. I'll put a little pod filter on there or something cool. So I'll cut away the outside, the excess of that, what do you call it, carburetor mount. And all of this as well, outside of this circle, that can go as well. And that top end of the flywheel, what do you call that? That'll be the mount for the line trimmer bar to come out of. So I'll cut that off, cut the outside off, cut that off, and we'll see what we're left with, and if we can make something that looks like a hairdryer. Oh, how good does that look now? So much more slim, eh? And for air filter, I'll just stick a nice little pod on the front. That'll look pretty cool. So what I was thinking was a handle on the bottom, and what do you call that? Wind tube out the top. Something like that. And then it kind of looks like a hairdryer, doesn't it? And then we stick the pod filter off the front, of course. Hairdryer? Yep, and it still needs a cover over here so we can direct all that air into the wind tube, wind tunnel. And I think that's a winner. Chances are we're going to need another fan off the back there, but I can do that. A little fan, a little shroud, and somehow tie that handle into there. Pull start, and that's about it. It's a one-day build, and might finish it tomorrow. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna get that all figured out. Maybe I'll tape it on and get some sort of template going. Alright, take a look at this now. I reckon that looks like a hairdryer, and I guess you can still see the spark plug in the pull cord and the pod filter out the front. That's pretty cool, eh? I'm happy with that. Do you reckon it looks like a hairdryer? I don't know. Oh, the only thing missing is the exhaust out through that tube and then poking up a little exhaust out the top. Maybe a little tractor flap or something, make it make it pretty cool. Alright, so what do I do first? Probably that exhaust might be good. Get that exhaust figured out and then tie the cowling and the handle into it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do exactly for that. I was thinking some sort of fins, like a, I guess intercooler would be the word, wouldn't it? Alright, well, I'll see what I can figure out, and we'll go from there. So maybe for the muffler, we could start with this original one. I'll pull it apart just to get a bit more free flowing and see what it's actually made of. Maybe expand it a bit longer, drill some holes, put some pipes through it or something so we can get air to pass through, and see how that goes. I'm quite interested to see what's inside this muffler here, because I've never had one open before. Ooh! Oh, that's a bit small, isn't it? Does that come apart as well? So I've peeled this muffler apart and got the bits out of it. It's going to be way too difficult to reuse that, but I'll use that end plate so we can mount that back on the engine. And then I think the best bet here is from that plate I can run a tube out and then a little muffler off the top here somewhere, and a little tractor flap, a little baby tractor flap, would be pretty cool. So then as the wind is rushing down the wind tunnel, it can pick up some heat from that exhaust. And that's probably the best effective way. Get it sealed up so there's no fumes coming out the wind tunnel hair drying end. And yeah, so I'll go with that. Nice and easy. I'll take a look at this fancy exhaust. Definitely not built for performance. So I've joined up the pipes here, new end plate as well. And so the exhaust will go in one end round, zigzag, through a 180 degree corner and then a 90. Oh well. And then out the top. So I'll stick that on there. And then the wind shroud cover can fit over that. Something like that. And yeah, it's going to grab quite a bit of, you can't really see in there, going to grab quite a bit of heat anyway off that muffler exhaust. It's not going to muffle much. So next up I'll build the top end of this fan shroudy wind deflector director thing, and do that first because that's all got to be contained within these fins anyway, or above the fins I should say. So I'll do that and then we'll come back and figure out what I'm going to do with that bottom half and the handle and, oh, hang on, need fuel tank. Whoops. Oh well I'll get the top end done and then I'll figure out where fuel tank's going and then do the bottom half handle and stuff. So I'll be back soon. Well, welcome to day 2 of this one day build. I was up quite late last night and this is what I've done so far. So I made this paper template based off the cardboard one just so I can get it more accurate, and I folded up that top wind deflector and it now fits pretty well, and it's actually starting to look like a hairdryer. So next up I've got to do this lower half and then find a place for fuel tank. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen there. Maybe I could do a fuel tank in the handle or something. I was going to use this handle here, the original weed eater handle, but just it's looking a wee bit too skinny. Doesn't quite fit the whole scale of it, so I'll get something fatter on there just to fit the bulkiness of that engine. And maybe I can fit a fuel tank in there as well, because that carburetor will pump its own fuel once you get it primed. So I'll aim for that at this stage, of that being separate, and I can bolt it on to that cowling there. So I'll do that, and the last thing of course is that fan. But anyway, cowling first and then fuel tank handle and then fan. So I'll come back once I've done that cowling thing. It shouldn't take too long. In the process of pulling all that cowling off to make a template to replicate it in oil drum steel, I'm actually not minding the look of that. Just that bare exposed crankcase and carburetor and stuff, and of course we'll stick that pod filter on. But that looks pretty cool. It's a bit more industrial style. So I'm going to go with that then, bugger all that sort of stuff, and build a fuel tank handle, and then a trigger straight from there down to here that I can pull on. So first time for everything, I've got to weld up a fuel tank. We'll see if I can do it without, yeah, got to seal it up. But anyway, so weld that up, weld a base on, put a hole in it for a filler tube thing, and then weld the top on. I've learned that one. And then we just need a couple of tabs to mount the fuel tank handle on, and something later for that. But alright, wish me luck, and hopefully when we come back I'll have a fuel tank handle sealed, not leaking. So got this here kind of tacked up. For the base I've used a fill cap from the wheel drum, just to give it, well, it's kind of a fuel lid, isn't it? And so it's got a base to sit up on. Now I've only just tacked it because I actually ran out of welding gas, but that should go on there, and if I hold this I can put a screw in there to hold it. But yeah, I'm actually quite preferring the look of this handle being, oh, can't hold it like that. So yeah, it's good having that stand there, and then get the carburetor and stuff on. That's going to look pretty cool, eh? Kind of like the old-fashioned hair dryers, a bit more, well, not really old. It must be bloody old-fashioned to not have a electric motor on it. So I still need fill cap on, fill neck knob nozzle, a whole thingy there. and a trigger, which is going to be hinged down here, straight up to the carburetor. So you pull that, and it's going to do fit on the carburetor thing. And then we can test it properly to see if it actually needs another fan or not. Hopefully we can get away without it, but yeah, otherwise just fan blade, little shroud, shouldn't be too difficult. So I'll get onto it. Well, day 3 on the 1-day build, and hang on, I'm going to cover those welds up. What a mission that was. Oh, I'm going to think twice about building a fuel tank again. Oh my god. Anyway, I'd had to do like 3 or 4 laps around that circuit there just to get it to seal up somewhat. The top's not sealing, but that's fine. The fuel only sits down the bottom. But I've got the primer bulb mounted, the fuel cap, not that, I mean, I've put a little groove in there as well, and just to keep airflow in it, but just doesn't create a vacuum in the tank. But I don't think I've got to worry about that because the top of the tanks, the welds aren't sealing it, so should be alright. I'll go ahead and mount that onto the hairdryer and then look at whatever's next. Jeez, I think it's just got to fix that wind tube onto the main cowling, and then we can give it a test to see how that fan speed's going. So it's actually worked out looking pretty good, eh? I'm quite happy with how it's coming together. Even though there's none of that main cowling on there, can't get my screw in there, whoops. Even though there's no main cowling on there, I think it looks better as well, like being a bit more, is it called industrial or steampunk or something like that? But anyway, this is pretty much the final part of it until it gets going. Now the only one thing about this is the carburetor is upside down, and the only time that matters, well, I'm not sure if it matters or not, but the only time it matters is when you're trying to prime the carburetor to get the fuel through. It actually sucks, the primer bulb will create a vacuum and suck fuel through the carburetor. Whether or not that's going to get rid of air bubbles and stuff, I'm not sure because the inlet's at the top. But yeah, I don't know, I think it'll be alright. I'll be able to, probably it'll be enough anyway to get it running. And I've also got to make a mounting plate or something for that. Alright, I've got the choke. Mount the primer bulb on. And the fuel line. And the fuel line. And I haven't given myself much room here. That should be right. Push that down with the tank. Now, what I'll do is I'll back the screw out and just set the air filter on. Should be able to jam that in there, something like that. And how's that look? That's pretty cool, eh? And it should sit up by itself. So I kind of mounted it, I found that center of gravity point so it can actually sit upright. But yeah, I definitely love this look of having the motor and everything exposed rather than that cowling on there. And it's definitely still looks like a hairdryer. But yeah, we'll see. Oh, I still need throttle. I'll show you a little bit what I was thinking. So if I had something mounted to that handle, up to that throttle, and when you pull the trigger, it just, pulls that throttle there. I think that'll do. So even if it's a bit of wire or something, it's not too critical if it bends or anything like that. So I might just do, a piece of wire down there, and you can just like go trigger. And then you can also, if it's facing you, you can use your thumb on it just to blow your hair. Blow your hair. I've now got my throttle in. I don't know if that's focusing properly, but it's just a piece of steel, not wire, what do you call it, like rod, I guess, a thin rod. Past the carburetor little doohickey and a little trigger lever. I've also made a mount for my, let's see if I can get on there, for that thing, air filter thing, and we can still get to the choke. So that's pretty cool. I'll get that together, we'll give it a test run and see how that wind flow is doing. Oh, this fill nozzle is sure going to be a pain. It's too small. Need something to funnel it with. Don't know how low that straw is there, but let's have a look. Yep, we're pulling fuel through, that's good. Alright, let's see how much airflow comes out of this. Choke on. Shouldn't. Where's my bung? I'll put that on. What's going on? Alright, I'll be back. Alright, no idea what the problem was. It just was stuck, but yeah. Choke on. Well, that was somewhat of a success. So we actually had the heat coming out of here was actually hotter than what was coming out of the exhaust, so that was a good thing. The only thing is we don't have quite enough airflow, so I'm going to have to go and put a fan onto the end of it. Alright, well that was quite good, and we'll come back for tomorrow, day 4 of this one day build, so we'll see you then. Oh, but hang on, not next day yet. Check this out. Oh, that's hot. No fuel leak at all. Yes, that million tack welds actually worked. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Well, day 4 now, maybe. Something like that. Now we're going to do a fan. And I've just been looking at how to get an extra wind generator going. Looks like this whole centre section is blocked off with the return spring for that pull start and stuff. So it's just this outer section that gets airflow going through it. So what I was thinking is just a fan with short little blades and a big centre section in it, and then I can bolt it straight onto the drive of the motor. So that's going to work. So I'll get onto that and then do a little shroud as well and a cover of some sort. I could probably just, usually the fans have that little curvy meshy thing on it, but I might, well, I'll see what I've got. Might be able to put a bit of curve into that just to make it look a bit more fan like, and then that's it, all done. So first up, I've jammed a bolt in there and then welded it just so we've got some threads for the fan to go onto. She's sticking out, and then I've just got to cut a fan plate. Just need to go around and cut little slots, twist some blades out of it, probably twist it down maybe, and then get a little shroud to go around there and a cover for it, and that, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Probably have a solid cover over there actually in the middle, because it's just going to draw air through that tiny little bit there, and hopefully that's enough to help. Otherwise, yeah, ain't got nothing, so we'll see how that goes. So I've now got the fan mounted. I think it'll work. It's just a circle with fan blades cutting it, so yeah, we'll see. And just for interest of safety, I've got a guard on there. Just don't touch it, it's got some sharp edges, so it's safety, but it's not. Well, I'm definitely happy with that, so I'm going to throw some paint on it and then see what my wife thinks. So she's looking a lot cleaner now with paint on it. It's still got that homemade look to it. I didn't put any undercoat on the red paint, but yeah, I'm quite liking that. So I'll get Rowan out here and see what she thinks of it. Rowan, I got something to show you. So I've been working on this hair dryer. What do you reckon?
Oh my gosh. Well, it looks like a hair dryer, but it looks like it could be painful too.
Yeah. Alright. You hang on to that and I'll start up for you. Hang on. You gonna want?
Where's my ears?
Yeah. Put your earmuffs on.
Okay.
Like when it's running.
Uh-oh. What's going on here?
I think it's gonna work.
This is making me very nervous.
I'll hang on to that.
Maybe it won't go.
Very awkward to start anyway.
It actually looks like a hairdryer.
Oh,
Oh gosh.
it's because it's leaking fuel.
Oh, and the paint's coming off.
Oh well.
So I'm gonna have a red hand. Oh no! Oh god! Oh, I don't expect anything less. It's actually warm. It's actually warm air.
Ooh.
It is a bit smelly.
And I leaked fuel and paint all over my hands.
Oh my gosh, look. Doesn't look like the best scene.
Oh well. Apart from that, leaking fuel everywhere and taking the paint with it.
I was surprised that actually it was warm though.
Yeah, you get warm.
It was actually warm.
Yeah, so it's functional and it looks like a hairdryer, but it's just not practical, which is perfect. It's just what I was going for.
A few fumes. I guess it would give my hair a natural scent, right?
Yeah. So maybe I do need to go through and fix that fuel leak.
Would be
It's
a good
just-
idea.
The fuel's sort of jumping around and coming out the top where I didn't really seal it up properly. Oh well.
Probably not the best idea if I'm going to have hairspray as well. A bit combustible. Oh, this is crazy. I think you could probably use this for something else, but more relevant, like drying paint.
Yeah. And great success, you reckon? Looks like a hairdryer, works like a hairdryer, but not a hairdryer. Okay. Oh well, that's all for me. So until next time, we'll see you on the next video.